Mic check, Brad. Mic check.
Sure.
1, 2. Wow, great crowd. I appreciate everybody sitting up in front, making an exciting atmosphere. There is a big crowd here, so I appreciate everybody coming out. Lynch Brothers Pizza. There's still more in the back. Go, don't be scared. It puts a little meat on your ribs. It's always good for you. So we appreciate their sponsorship today. Exciting day today because we have first and foremost, want to congratulate the Hardrocker football coaches and program on a huge win over Black Hills State. We'll hear from Coach Tinker later on in today's luncheon as they get set for M-Day against Adams State. Want to kick things off with Hardrocker soccer. I just talked to Coach Jordan Kadlec. He's just kind of tired, and I don't blame him. He's been on the road and on the road and on the road. He'll talk about this past weekend. Welcome up head coach of the Hardrocker soccer team, Jordan Kadlec.
Yeah, congrats to the football team for the big win. Glad the home stake trophy is where it belongs. So, this weekend we were on the road against Regis and Colorado Mesa. Regis is ranked 10th in the country. Got 2 more wins over the weekend, including us, so they'll probably move up a little bit in the rankings. Anytime, like I said last week, you get the chance to play the number 10 team in the country, you got to bring it, and we just didn't do that this weekend. We came out flat. They managed to score a goal in the 14th minute of the game, which is one of our goals every game, is not to give up a goal in the first 15 minutes, and we did that. So credit goes to them, though. They're top to bottom, a fantastic team. They pretty much overhauled their entire squad. So last year, we split with them, beat them at home, and lost them on the road, and they seriously brought in, I want to say 15 guys that were just all new, a bunch of internationals, a bunch of D1 transfers, so extremely talented, and we just didn't have it. I don't know whether it was us being on the road for the 4th week in a row, but just didn't bring it. So ended up losing that game 3-0, didn't create many chances, they just held us goalless, so credit goes to them. And then Sunday we played against Colorado Mesa. We gave up 3 goals in the first half, and it just seems like the difference between us and some other teams right now is that when they make one mistake, they cover for that mistake, and when we make a mistake, it's followed by 1 or 2 more. You just can't do that in order to be successful. So credit goes to our guys in that game, though, for fighting in the second half. If you're down 3-0, you got to focus on trying to win the second half. You know, it's coming back from a 3 goals deficit is pretty difficult, and in the second half, we ended up winning that half 2-1. So we scored 2 late penalty kicks in the last 15 minutes of the game. So, but Colorado Mesa, again, I think they have 40 guys in their roster, so it's got to be an extremely competitive environment that they create there, and they're very well coached. So this weekend we go on the road again. We leave Thursday to play against Colorado School of Mines. They are not having the greatest season, but they're still. Andrew and I just watched the film on them this morning, and they're very, very good. So we'll start preparing for them tonight, and then we'll play them on Friday and head home soon after that. So our first home game is on Sunday, which is extremely exciting for our program. We play Colorado Christian. We don't know much about them right now. We'll start scouting them tomorrow and Thursday. So, but that's definitely a game that we're looking to win. So. Any questions about this weekend or our upcoming games against School of Mines and CCU?
Time's the game on Sunday?
Game's at 1 p.m. out at Sioux Park.
Healthy.
You know, our captain's injured. Brandon Lynn, right now he's injured. Trying to think who else. I mean, we have a couple of knocks. I mean, just from playing two games every weekend, guys are tired and they have some muscle strains, but nothing other than having our captain out right now. We're pretty much healthy. So. Cool. Thanks.
I don't know how closely you follow Jordan and Hardrocker soccer. They've been right there in a lot of games, almost getting over the top as they continue. Get out Sunday, support them. Sunday at 1 o'clock at Sioux Park. Hardrocker cross country team went on the road up to Montana State Billings. Welcome up head coach Steve Johnson.
Thanks, Nate.
Congrats to the football team on the big win this weekend. We had the opportunity to go up to Billings and get to see some schools we've never actually seen before. We got to see a couple of new schools. We got to see Northwest Nazarene there in the red. They're part of the Great Northwest Athletic Conference. And then we also got to see San Francisco State this weekend. San Francisco State's men were ranked as high as 5th in their region this year. They've got a really strong pack, and the reason we chose to go to Billings this year instead of going to Griak, where we've been in the last couple of years, was in part because Coach Koppick up in Billings went out and recruited these teams to come in for this race and give us a little bit different view of some of the West Region competition. The other thing that got us there is the fact that he wanted to put on a 10K race in the middle of the cross-country season, and those are really hard to find. With 5 freshman guys this year, I thought it was really important that we get the guys out onto a 10K course before we got to the region meet. We basically would go into the 10K, we doubled the distance that they raced in high school. So I felt it was critical that we get a chance to see what that race distance is really like, because it is mentally a lot tougher challenge, even though physically it's not, a mile and a quarter extra, I know sounds like a lot, but for these guys it's really not a huge difference. It's the mental aspect of it, trying to keep your focus for that extra 7 minutes that really makes a big difference. Our guys got out really well. I'm a little bit nervous when I see three of our guys at the front of a group in the first mile, but they did a really nice job, and that was exactly what we wanted to see out of those guys, because that's where their talent says that they can be. So we had 3 guys, Ty Boucher out of Grand Forks, Chase Wood out of Las Vegas, and Jacob Huber, who's a sophomore out of Burlington, Iowa. We're all up in the front pack, and we hung on there for quite a while. We were up there. We had 3 in the top 10 through about the 5-mile mark. So what they've experienced so far. And Ty and Chase fell off a little bit. Jacob managed to hold on for 8th, but we still got 3 in the top 15 out of a field of 53. So that was a good step for us. What we've got to do, our number 4 ran solid, but we've got to get our number 5 going. We finally put Ashton out on the course this weekend. He had a little bit of a rough day with some stomach stuff, but overall he had a good start. It was just good to get him back out and get him running with the guys again. So there's a picture right there. You can see Chase up front, and then that's Ty and Jacob right behind him. That was about halfway through the race there, and they really did a nice job working together. We actually, compared to Billings, we improved by about a minute as a team. So that was another good thing that we took out of that weekend. But the real story this weekend, I think, was the ladies. And the ladies had an absolutely terrific race. We knew going in that San Francisco State and Northwest Nazarene were going to be tough. They both have solid packs. Northwest Nazarene has 2 girls who they're sisters, and I tell you what, they're a tough pair. We were watching, and they went out. A girl from San Francisco State right off the line looks like she's going to run a 400 instead of a 6K. Nobody panicked. Everybody just kind of let her do her thing, and by the time they hit 600 meters, she was back in the fold with everybody else. Coming through the first mile, we had 3 in the top 10 and stayed that way all the way through the race. Addie went up to the front pretty early in the race, and she had to because the girls from Northwest Nazarene were really pushing the pace. She, much to my chagrin, she runs with one of those GPS watches, and so she always knows her pace. And she finished the race, and she kept complaining. She says, I kept wanting to say to that girl, do you realize we're running 540-mile pace right now? I'm like, Addie, it doesn't matter what you're running, you just got to race here. But she waited a little bit longer than what we originally talked about to make her move because of the pace, but with a mile to go, she really just separated strongly from the girl and won it by 7 seconds in the last mile. We finished 1, 5, 8, and 11 for our top 4. Our 5th was a little bit further back in 19th, but we had, there were 48 runners in the field. We had all 7 of our runners for the day in the top 24. So really, really strong day. I think probably the biggest improvement that we saw was out of Erica Westerman. She's a sophomore for us out of Yankton, South Dakota. She was our 11th, and she just ran a phenomenal race. All of our girls improved by at least a minute on that course over what they ran last year, but Erica was almost a minute and a half faster than a year ago. So that was a tremendous race out of her. We got a little bit of revenge this week. We got a chance to see Gillette again, and not only did we flip the tables on them, we really put it to them. When we got to see, we were the only team that was. There were 2 teams that were at our home meet, Billings and Gillette, that were at this course. Of those, we were the only team to run a faster pace than at our home meet. And on top of that, Gillette had beat us with a team time. They beat us by 45 seconds. We turned the tables by a total of 3 minutes, beating them by 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So really, really proud of what the ladies got done. They were kind of hoping they could get the pickaxe back for it, but it's not the way it works. So. Questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Nice job this weekend. Another nice job. We talked about it earlier. Hardrocker football, big win. I talked to people about this earlier when I was there. Everyone said, well, I like close games. Don't you like close games and they're competitive? And I said, I like blowouts, I will tell you. I love blowouts. And I appreciate Coach Tinker. Welcome up, Head Coach Zach Tinker.
Thanks for coming out. I appreciate seeing everybody here today. Good crowd, as Nate said. Wanted to first off acknowledge a few people that are here today that don't always come to the luncheon, but I asked them to come today because I think they deserve some recognition. Talking about my assistant coaches, so if you would wave your hand when your name gets called, that'd be appreciated. Our defensive backs coach, 2nd season with us, Travis Dixon. If you watched that second half of football, it was a good half of football for the defensive backs coach because pretty much every football that went in the air was contested by a Hardrocker. It was an awesome performance. Our offensive coordinator, he's also our wide receivers coach, Justin Udy. If you like the things that were going on, it's mostly Coach Udy on offense. If you're a little frustrated, as I am, with our red zone offense, that's mostly my fault. Our offensive line coach is here today, the best dressed man in the room, Ethan Hudson. Great job. Our defensive line coach, also our special teams coordinator, doing a heck of a job, Eric Raisbeck. And the associate head coach, the man in charge of the Rocker Dog defense, and obviously he was the MVC, the most valuable coach on Saturday night as the Rocker Dogs lit up the second half, Taylor Breitzman. So those are the men that are really mentoring these kids on a day in, day out basis. I appreciate their contribution. They earned the recognition. These are the guys that are really the ones that are with our players every minute of every day. I get involved in a lot of other things. These are the men that are really mentoring our kids. They're the ones that are making sure they're at class. They're the ones that are making sure that we're held accountable. They're the ones that instill perseverance into our kids, and they're the ones that our kids trust the most. And without these men, you wouldn't have a result like you did on Saturday night. I'd also like to acknowledge the MVW, the most valuable wife. My wife Marty is here tonight, the biggest cheerleader in all of Hardrocker football. Give it up. I think the coach's wife is a difficult one. You hear things said about your husband that you don't even say about your husband. You know what I'm saying? I've, if you go 9 seasons of calling plays like I have, you're going to call a lot of bad plays. And she's heard pretty much everything said. And thankfully, she doesn't repeat much of it to me. And very supportive all year long. So I thank her for her contribution to the program. A big win for our boys, yeah. Big win for our boys. I think we got some players of the week. Let's go through that. Are we doing players of the week or highlights first, Brad? How do we want to do it? Let's go highlights of the game. We're going to start with an offensive emphasis, which is probably appropriate. We're going to close with defense because that's kind of how the game went. This is the first touchdown of the game. This is Jake Sullivan to Isaiah Manley. Isaiah Manley just scores touchdowns. You know, he doesn't take a ton of reps because we're pretty good at Coach Udy's wide receiver position. But when he does play, he likes to score touchdowns. Jake did a good job kind of finding him on a little sit route combination right there. It was one of the few times we executed as well as we really wanted to in the red zone. Here we are. This is first quarter action still. You know, we were actually pretty good going into that breeze, and this is Rashad Ridley up the seam. And I thought Rashad, number 4, I thought he brought a ton of energy to the first part of the game. We make a concerted effort to get Rashad involved early in the game because he's a high juice guy. If he makes big plays, it gets the other guys excited. He's also a little bit of a fan favorite because you think he dies on the field about once every 2 or 3 quarters, you know. Oh my God, he got hit again, and people are very concerned about him. He is a tough kid. He does get up, and then he goes and makes plays. So I thought he had a big night for us, making some energy plays. I think this is coming up right afterwards. Again, when you see Jake at quarterback here, we're going to use a little bit of deception, and he's going to sort of read the defense here and keep the football. I thought the move he made in the hole there was pretty good. I taught him that one, and we work on it. I mean, it's coaching. But no, unbelievable job by Jake. I thought, you know, now he's won 2 home state trophy games, which not a lot of quarterbacks can say. And I think the work he put in through the course of the week. We did not play our best offensive football game against Pueblo, and then he came back. This is Dorian Coert, and, you know, Dorian gets teased a little bit because Kevin Thompson's known as the fast running back, but I thought this was pretty good heat by Dorian. This was a big momentum play. Pretty lame dive into the end zone by Dorian, frankly, for what he's capable of. He's capable of more. But it was a big energy play for us, and I think some people have already said it. It's about this point in the football game that I thought what we had done defensively and then what our offensive line was doing to that game, I thought that's when we really took control of the game. This is senior Zach Huber. We had fun with this play just because Zach has done a good job running this play throughout his career, and we kind of had fun with it in the morning on Saturday because we ran that thing about 5 times and he couldn't catch a single one of them, and there was nobody guarding him. So to do it in the big game was awesome. And now we're going to close out with defense because that was the story of the second half. Obviously, this is the first 4th down play. And again, just rocker dogs flying around to the football all the time on this play. I thought one of the things that happened was we were affecting the quarterback. He didn't feel comfortable, it didn't look like in the second half. And here's the next 4th down play. They wanted to run it with their big back, and we didn't even have our big guys in there. We just had our speed guys in, and they do an unbelievable job stuffing it on 4th and 2. And big-time juice play, and I think that's when the players really start to sense that victory was in our future. And there you see the celebration afterwards. We did have a marriage proposal post-game. I think that went viral. Dominic Martinez, she said yes, so that's good. You always worried that might go the other way, so I didn't. There was a lot of peer pressure on her, though. There were about 100 dudes ready to pounce if she didn't say yes, so I thought she did a good job of handling the moment. So the result is a big win for us, moves us to 3-1 on the season, and it's a big win for our program moving forward. And now we turn the page really, really quickly. As we look at it from a players of the game perspective, our service players of the week, I think, are the first guys up. Porter Cropsey is a metallurgical engineer out of Presho, South Dakota. This kid's fast. Jerry brought him in. He wants to play some football too, and he's quick, does a great job. And then Cole Hoddle's a mechanical engineer from right here in Rapid City, South Dakota, and he's our service player of the week as well. Those guys did a great job getting us ready for Black Hills State. It doesn't surprise me the 2 South Dakota guys get the service players of the week when it's a rivalry game week because they understand the importance and the magnitude of the game at hand. Next up on the players of the week, the SWAT, our special teams player of the week, is Mikkel Frost, electrical engineer out of Redding, California. And Mikkel was really hurt most of the fall camp, and now is really coming into his own. Check 24 out when we're kicking the football off, man. He's running down there like he stole something, you know what I mean? So he's doing a good job getting involved and trying to play physical. Got great hair, and the kids really like his juice. The theme of the week was natural. We wanted our players to play natural. We wanted to talk about not doing too much, stay within the moment, don't go beyond yourself. Sam Vollmer's a mechanical engineer out of Sugar Land, Texas, and Sam has moved around a lot for us during his time here. He came back to that tight end position, and he put his face on some people throughout the day, and it was pretty cool. He kind of busted up his nose too, so he's bleeding during the game, which is always a good look for a tight end, you know what I mean? So that was awesome. The Rocker Dog Player of the Week is a true freshman industrial engineer out of Tucson, Arizona, Harrison B. Miller. The work that Coach Breisman put in to get Harrison to this football program was epic. This kid is exciting. I mean, just an exciting player. Plays all over the field for us, and you're like, is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? Is he a defensive end? I don't know. He's everywhere, you know. And that's how exciting it is to see Harrison play. Super bright future for Harrison, and got the Rocker Dog Player of the Week. And then probably not a huge surprise is the High Octane Player of the Week was Jacob Sullivan, industrial engineer from right here in Rapid City, South Dakota. I thought Jake played a really strong game. He played a really good game. He was not the RMAC Player of the Week because the kid from Western State had an incredible day as well. But it was exciting to see Jake do his thing. He came and stepped up into the pressure moments, which is what his job is to do, and was able to deliver for the Rockers. I'm ready for some questions. You guys are done hearing me. Who's got a couple questions for us?
Who votes
Yeah.
on the player of the week from the Army?
Who votes on the player? That's an excellent question. I honestly have no idea. Bradley sends information in. You tell me.
Yeah, it's a committee of 3 sports information directors and the Army
There you go.
Put it on you, Jake.
I simply mentioned it.
Yeah.
Zach, would you talk a little bit about B. Miller, because I was really impressed with him the other night. You talked about moving him around. Does he have different responsibilities each week depending on who you might be playing, or how do you use him?
Yeah, the question is really about Harrison B. Miller and the role he has on defense. And one of the things that Coach Breisman does is he prepares to win the individual game we're playing. And so we will move our players to the position we need them in order to be successful that week. Who's playing where, who's doing what on a week-in, week-out basis is going to change a little bit depending on what we're seeing. So I really see Coach Breisman does that a little bit more, kind of that Bill Belichick model where you would move players into a position where they're needed the most, and that's where they play. So what we did defensively from a scheme standpoint against Pueblo, which is a very different style of offense than Black Hills State, it's different. And so this past week, Harrison was playing a little bit more, probably more of a safety type player than what he did in weeks past, and he was really sharp. He's a high football IQ person. You know, he's a great offensive and defensive player. In fact, he might get a couple plays on offense. I don't know if we need the help, but he's a really good football player. He just gets the game really well. So we don't need to teach him all that much about football. We just got to kind of teach him what we're doing that week and let him go, kind of plug and play and go get it. Good question. Yeah, Ryan.
You guys played a fantastic game, but what are some areas you got to clean up to continue to get better
Yeah.
this weekend and the rest of the year?
Yeah, we're really working on a lot of things. We are not very good in the red zone offensively or defensively right now. It's a point of emphasis, so we need to improve there. I think red zone offense, I just did not got the job done. We're just not getting the job done right now. So that's got to really improve because I thought we had done enough good things offensively to score more points on Saturday night. Probably the same thing on defense. We got to be able to buckle down at the very end of those drives in the red zone. If you look at us statistically in the red zone, we're way down in both those categories, red zone offense and red zone defense. We've got to do a better job of not turning the football over. We had those 2 turnovers in the second quarter. So that's going to be critical for us. And then we got to maintain our juice level. I thought our juice level was phenomenal on Saturday night. I thought we came out in the second half with a bunch of energy. I thought we probably out-energied them in the second half. I give credit to Coach Miguez and the strength staff for that we had a ton of juice in the second half. And I don't know that the team in white had as much juice as we did, which was good for us. But we have to play like that all the time. So that's why the theme of this week is reliable. You know, be consistent and be someone that can be trusted, that you're going to be the same thing every week, that you're going to have that juice level every single time out. And at Tuesday morning at 6 a.m., if you think winning the home state trophy is a big deal, it's really not, because Adams State's coming to town on a winning streak right now. They're hungry and they're ready to go. And so our message to the team now is that the time to reflect on the home state trophy is at the season-ending banquet. Okay, that time is done. I appreciate all the encouragement. I hope you encourage the kids and pat them on the back and tell them great job this week. But we're moving forward really quick because college football doesn't give you a chance to really talk about how good you feel about yourself. Adams State isn't particularly concerned with how we feel about ourselves. They're ready to play. They're anxious, and they want to go win another game just like they did last week. They beat a good Shadron State team last week, so they're confident, and just us showing up is not going to be anything worth, it's not going to work on Saturday night. We got to come juiced up, ready to play.
So what do they have at Adams State?
They have really good skilled people. I think their head football coach is Tim Rosenbaugh, who, I had Tim Rosenbaugh posters on my wall growing up, man. He was my favorite player, the quarterback at Washington State, played in the NFL. So I'm fired up to see Coach Rosenbaugh. But he's an offensive genius. I mean, he's been a mastermind offensively. He's been a coordinator at the Division I levels, and coach. I think he coached a little bit in the NFL as well. So they're a high-powered offense. They score a lot of points. They put you in a lot of stressful situations, and they've got really good athletes and young people on defense. They're young on defense, but they're very talented. So I think their talent and team speed is something to be reckoned with. And they've got an outstanding returner as well. So we're going to have to do a great job in the special teams game and not letting him get a big play. Yeah,
Can I just make a comment?
please.
I love the game. It was so good. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
Made my whole week.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate that. It made my weekend too, I promise you. I was kind of talking with someone before the game, and it's kind of, you work during the week. I mean, we work. I mean, we're here. We're doing the work and putting in the time, and you're not really thinking about the magnitude of the game. And Saturday afternoon hit, and I realized we were going to have a record in the Home State Trophy after this game, and it dawned on me like this is pretty surreal. And we just came out with tremendous energy. All the credit. Our senior class is unbelievable. I really was hoping. As you know, here our kids go to class, so they're not always available in the middle of the day to come speak at the luncheon. Because I really wanted a couple of our kids to come. Because if you met our kids and hung out with our kids, we're good at football, but we're way better to just be around. We have great kids, so you'd love hanging out with our team. So I think the character of our team is what's really setting us apart right now, and it starts with a senior class that is really committed and really cares and really trusts one another. So. Yeah, it was an exciting night. Hopefully we'll put another good performance together and make sure this isn't the best thing we do all season, right? So we're going to try to make sure we have more good moments to come. Good. All right, yeah?
You kind of answered, but is Adams State better than the 1-3 record indicates?
Well, it's interesting. It's a really good question. They really kind of blew the Black Hill State game. They had some really good chances to win that game. Lost it by a point. That was their opener. Then they play a really good Western State team. Then they barely lose to Fort Lewis, and then they come back last week from a couple touchdowns down and beat Shadron State. So they're a young team that's kind of generating a bunch of confidence. The one thing I like is that this is really this is a long road trip for them, and a younger team taking a long road trip. That doesn't bother me very much. I hope, and I know what it's like playing at night on the road. It's a little harder to kind of stay locked in the whole time. So hopefully they're distracted by that and the beauty of the Black Hills a little bit, and we can have some success. But we have to play well early in the game, and that's going to be critical for this week. So this league is very, very competitive, and so when you see the records in the league right now, there have been a lot of really close games, and I think the league is going to be that way this season. Okay? All right, everybody, rock on.
For the record, Coach, do you like close games or blowouts?
We got to score one more point, Nate. One more point.
I thought I did. I like blowouts for the record. Couple things here. I want to remind you, Thursday, KOTA TV is going to do a tailgate. They're going to do their morning show from our practice from the stadium. So if you want to come and kind of have fun, 6 a.m. So it's early, all right? 6 a.m., but they're going to be down at the stadium. We'll have barbecue and everything. Also, Saturday, doing something new, there's going to be a Rocker Days fair down at the stadium. So this is really student-driven. So a lot of student organizations are putting together a big tailgate fair atmosphere. They're going to be doing all sorts of things, liquid nitrogen ice cream and all sorts of stuff. So if you have young kids and you know families, the Rockers Days Fair is going to start on Saturday afternoon leading up to the game, and then of course the 6 o'clock start. 1 o'clock? Okay, 1 o'clock start for the Rocker Days Fair, and then a 6 o'clock kickoff for the game. So a couple things to remind you of. The Hall of Fame banquet will be coming up this weekend. We have a new Hall of Fame class for 2016. We're excited about that. We'll honor them at halftime of the Hardrocker football game. So exciting weekend for M-Day. Come on out. Beautiful weekend for football, and watch the Hardrockers go 4-1. Thanks to Lynch Brothers again. Hope everybody has a good week. We'll see you later this week. See you later.